Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, students at Emma Willard, I extend a warm welcome. Welcome to students and faculty gathered here in person, and to parents, family, and friends joining us virtually. Class of 2021, we have gathered this afternoon to begin the formal celebrations of your accomplishments. This weekend marks a defining passage in your lives, and we are privileged to share it with you. Our own Madame Willard, with her bold vision to ensure that young women were given an education equal to that of young men, instituted the tradition of baccalaureate service at Troy Female Seminary in the early 1800s, holding the ceremony in downtown Troy. Just as all the important traditions at Emma Willard have been gently shaped by the changing times and needs of the school, our baccalaureate service has been transformed as well. We have tenaciously hung to the baccalaureate service, yielding to our desire to create a time of reflection in the midst of an emotional weekend of leave-taking and celebration. This is the next to the last time the senior class will gather with the spirit, energy, and authenticity that this class is known for. In this moment, it is right and proper for us to offer words of wisdom for your journey ahead and gratitude for your contributions to your alma mater. Tomorrow, we will be filled with pomp and circumstance, but this ceremony is reserved for sentimental reflection and musical tributes for you, the class of 2021, from those who will dearly miss you. You will have noticed on your chairs a little something extra. To the seniors from the class of 2023, here is a little owl to remind you of your time at Emma. The owls in the classroom did their best to keep us connected through this year, and we hope this owl reminds you of the value of the connections you have here and cheer you on as you move through the next steps of your lives. You made the seemingly impossible possible, and we are so proud of you. So hold those owls, and we will miss you. Congratulations, class of 2021. Will you all please join me in a responsive reading? We gather to celebrate this moment with the class of 2021, whose accomplishments breathe life into a vision of excellence. We gather to celebrate the talents of these young students as they go forth to serve and shape the world in marvelous ways that we can only begin to imagine. We gather to celebrate the dreams that have come true, the hopes made real, and the memories that define the Emma Willard experience. I am now delighted to introduce one of our wonderful students to offer a reflection. When Rowan Locasio McLaughlin ran for president of her 9th grade class, she was not elected. Though disappointed, she remembers, "I was okay with the news because I knew our class would be in great hands with the student we did elect." Encouraged by an advisor to run again in her sophomore year, she was at first reluctant to risk another personal disappointment. Nevertheless, she took the plunge, and her election proved to be one of her proudest and most pivotal moments at Emma Willard. She recalls, "It helped me find my purpose and my role as a member of the class of 2022. Since that sophomore moment, Rowan has led her class with commitment, courage, open-mindedness, wisdom, creativity, independence, and impartiality. She finds her greatest excitement in the classroom, where she is a stellar student who sets high standards for herself and is driven by a powerful will to succeed. Balance in life is important to her, though, and she considers her connections to others key ingredients in her success. In Rowan's own words, "I draw my energy and inspiration from relationships. They are an important part of what I think being a good student here is all about." In addition to leading her class, Rowan plays the French horn in our orchestra, is a 4-year member of the Gargoyle staff, who will be an editor-in-chief next year, serves as an admissions ambassador, supports our alumni outreach program, and is a passionate and longtime student and teacher of modern dance outside of school. In her free time, she loves to bake, do crafts, follow professional football, and cheer with her dad for their beloved Pittsburgh Penguins hockey team. Please join me in welcoming the president of the class of 2022, Rowan Lacasio McLaughlin.
I apologize if my voice is a little hoarse this morning. I had an interesting night at Revels yesterday. In an unconventional year, you seniors have been our guidepost for everything. You are the people we run to after class asking how you approached this essay or this project when you were assigned it. You are the one piece of Emma that has stayed consistent for us the past few years. It is a bit daunting to think that after tomorrow, our one constant is altered. But the memories we've shared are invaluable and will stay with us forever. In light of the emotional roller coaster you were all thrown on last March, your determination and unwavering optimism kept the school community afloat this past year. We've seen you tackle everything that Emma has thrown your way with incredible dignity. You have stayed true to yourselves and are the epitome of fearless leaders. It is one thing to note the legacy your class has left with Emma Willard history, but you've left an even more special mark on the hearts of your fellow classmates. This year especially has given us ample time to reminisce. To all the writers, the athletes, the avid readers, and the friends that make up this graduating class, you've inspired us all to be the best versions of ourselves. While sitting at home, we reflected on the electric energy you brought to each morning reports in Kiggins, the sage advice you shared with us in art class, the laughter we shared over inter-campus picnics, the smiles in the Polaroid pictures hanging on our walls. This is how we will remember the class of 2021. On behalf of the junior class and our fellow classmates, congratulations. We wish you all the best of luck in your future endeavors. It's been a pleasure having you as role models, friends, and family. No one is more prepared to take on this world than you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rowan, for those wonderful words of reflection. It is now my honor to introduce our parent speaker. Over the last 40 years, Miss Merchant has recorded 16 albums, 10 of those as a solo artist, and has earned the reputation for being a writer of quality and sincerity. The New York Times has called her the author of brave, thoughtful, and serenely startling songs. And The Guardian had this to say of her most recent performance at Albert Hall. This is poetic indie pop that's reached its maturity. Merchant's lush acoustic orchestral set is dramatic, intimate, and it's impressive to witness. She remains dedicated to her art, and her compositional and artistic journey continues. In a parallel career as an activist, she has remained devoted to a wide array of social justice and environmental causes. In recent years, she has been living quietly in both the Hudson Valley and just down the street from campus, devoting herself to her daughter and community, while taking opportunities to write, collaborate with other musicians, and strengthen her commitment to activism and philanthropy. During these last 4 years, she has been a regular at Emma, at events such as Apollo, plays, speaker series, concerts, assemblies, and was a frequent visitor at our choir rehearsals. During this time, she has been there all along the way, cheering for all of you. Please join me in welcoming Miss Natalie Merchant.
Thank you, Ms. Rao. On an early September evening in 2008, Lucia's father and I filed into the cafetorium of Mill Road Elementary School to take our places in a crowd of 30 parents for kindergarten orientation. And a large vinyl banner spanned across the stage reading, "Welcome, Class of 2021. And how distant and abstract this day appears from where we sat on the eve of our daughter's first day of school, when at the tender age of 5, she was about to take her first tentative steps into a world without us. 13 years ago, I pinned a name tag on the bib of my daughter's pink overalls, and I walked her down the driveway to board a big yellow school bus, and then I walked back to the house and sobbed. The details of our points of departure will vary, but tomorrow we, all parents, will arrive at the same destination, the parents of accomplished Emma Willard graduates. And it's been a sprawling, incremental endeavor that grew from watching a caterpillar emerge from its cocoon to studying the laws of physics and the theories of genetics. A very long march that began with counting to 10 and deciphering the letters of the alphabet that concluded here with algebra, geometry, calculus, the works of Dante, Shakespeare, and the Brontes. And on every ledge of this climb, in your struggle to advance, through all the tears of frustration and the pride of reaching every new height, we have consoled, we have encouraged, and we have watched with amazement. Today we pause, and we sit, and we marvel at what you have accomplished and who you have become. And we also take this opportunity to thank everyone who has helped push and pull you up to this peak. And now, in an ordinary year, as the parent speaker, I would take this moment to acknowledge the administration, the faculty, and the staff for all the care and attention that they've given to you the past 4 years. And our debt of gratitude would have been great, but because of the global pandemic, it's been made truly immeasurable. On behalf of all the parents of the graduating class of 2021, I will attempt to express the gratitude that we feel for every one of you, for your leadership, for your dedication, for your sacrifice, and your resourcefulness. Because we've all managed somehow to become accustomed to the new realities of pandemic life, but we cannot forget the fear and the confusion that consumed the country and this very campus in mid-March of last year, when Emma Willard, if you'll recall, had to be evacuated in 24 hours. Miraculously, our children all arrived safely home, and brave, innovative faculty and staff set themselves to the task, the immense task, of first opening a virtual school and then a safe, compliant campus. Ms. Jenny Rao, you and your crew successfully navigated the great ship EWS through turbulent waters of the 15-month voyage that this pandemic of disruption, upheaval, upended plans, dashed hopes, and deferred dreams. And you rebuilt, reimagined, redesigned, and rescheduled to meet the challenges of maintaining bonds of community over space and time. And you kept minds focused on learning so that our children's education would not be interrupted. Teachers in the shade, in spite of the dislocation, the isolation of remote learning, you managed to guide, to care, and to teach. You leapt through technological hoops. You performed the balancing act of addressing students both inside the classroom and in far-flung bedrooms in every single time zone. And when campus was reopened, you risked your very own health and safety, and by extension, that of your families. And we're so grateful. You managed to maintain a cohesive center so that this community would not spiral out of touch, even keeping the time-honored tradition of revels, which, by the way, was extraordinary last night, and the seniors' retreat, and nursing staff. You seamlessly implemented COVID protocols, weekly testing, and so that the doors of this institution could remain open, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And parents at home, I share your pride and your joy today, but I also share your sorrow, because no matter how natural or inevitable we knew this day should be, we can't help feeling that something irretrievable is being lost. And added to the customary anxieties of letting go, our children will soon depart from us into a very uncertain world, a world where we cannot protect them. I'm going to sing a song for you now that might reflect the significance of this moment, and I settled on an adaptation of a poem by a early 20th century British Jesuit mystic poet named Gerard Manley Hopkins, Spring and Fall to a Young Child. And this poem acknowledges the grief that comes to us when we see the passage of time and the death of things, because in them we see our own fate's reflection. And Dr. Spiro Allen is going to accompany me.
Margaret, are you grieving over Golden Grove, unleaving by and by? Leaves like the things of man you, with your fresh thoughts care for, can you? But as the heart grows older, it will come to such sights much colder. By and by, no spare aside. The words of Wayne would leave me alive, and yet you will weep and you'll know why. No matter, child, the name, sorrow springs are all the same, all the same. No mouth had, nor no mind expressed what heart heard, our ghost guessed. It's the blight man was born for. It is Margaret that you mourn for. Love you.
Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you. It is my pleasure and distinct honor to introduce this afternoon's student speaker, Natasha Woon. When one considers the body of work that represents her remarkable journey from Singapore and Malaysia to and through Emma Willard, one cannot help but be amazed, even awed, by the distance Natasha has traveled personally, the growth she has achieved academically, the depth of her passion and compassion, and the magnitude of her contributions to our community. Her commitment to her causes is profound and grounded in her love for humanity and her desire to better the lives of others. Natasha's early days at Emma as a new sophomore were filled with homesickness and culture shock. She overcame these struggles to then emerge as a school leader and a student who is in love with learning. She has had a remarkable journey at Emma Willard. Natasha, please join me at the podium.
Thank you, Ms. Rao. Apologies if I start sobbing on stage, but I'm gonna make it through it. Good afternoon. It is such an honor speaking in front of all of you today. Today, we celebrate the class of 2021. We celebrate the achievements, milestones, experience, and growth that we've all had. We also celebrate the people, our families, our faculty, our friends, who have made all of this growth possible. As I think we can all agree, this journey has not been easy. With COVID-19, we have all felt our fair share of anger, sadness, frustration, and major FOMO from not having time together and traditions we have missed. But even before the pandemic hit, we've had our hard days. Many of us have stayed up late cramming for tests we know we won't do well on the next day. Or we fell out with a close friend and now dread seeing them in the halls. Or we simply just got too overwhelmed. Whatever it was, my guess is that we have all felt like we weren't good enough for a certain something, or that we simply could not get through it. That feeling is something I am familiar with. With all the joyous celebration today, I also feel a lingering sadness. For me, today marks the 425th day since I last saw my family. To put that number into context, I was 2 years younger when I last saw them. My little brother used to be at the height of my shoulders, but now he's almost a whole foot taller. I've missed out on family gatherings, birthdays, time with my grandparents, and watching my brother grow up. Some days, I feel so angry at the world for putting this distance between me and the people I love the most. However, the one thing that got me through all that hurt was you. Class of 2021, you have shown me that unconditional love and support can be found beyond blood. You have shown me that family isn't just what you're born into. Family is built with respect, love, and kindness. Thank you, class of 2021, for being my family. I still remember the day I arrived on campus in August of 2018. As a new sophomore, I felt so scared. I remember telling my dad as we pulled up to the front loop to turn around. I was convinced that I would not fit in with a group of people who have had an entire year together. I could not have been more wrong. I want to read you all a line I wrote to my senior self my sophomore year. When you first got here, you cried every night, missing family, friends, and home. I feel sad that you were sad, but I hope you eventually find your people. I am proud to say that the crying part has not changed. In fact, I have cried every night this past week. But this time, I cry not because I feel lonely, but because it's nearly impossible to say goodbye to the people, places, and memories that make me feel at home. I have found my people here. From my best friends who have become siblings to me, to my close friends who I gather around the tiny table in the student center with, to the friendly faces I see waiting in line for stir-fry night in the dining hall. You have all become my people. Even 9,381 miles from Singapore, I have managed to feel the warmth of home. And for that, I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Beloved faculty, words truly are not enough to describe the respect, gratitude, and appreciation I have for you all. Your love for teaching and the care you have for all of us as students has inspired me to be just as bold. I still remember the time when I sent a scientific article to my teacher because I thought it was interesting, and she spent 2 whole hours discussing the material with me. Or the time I was crying outside of my math classroom, and my math teacher took the time to listen to me and walk me over to the counselors. It is the times where I would get to class early and my teacher would ask me how I was doing, or ask me to stay behind after a Zoom call because they could tell I was not feeling the best and wanted to check in on me. That is what makes you, faculty, so special. On behalf of the class of 2021, thank you. Thank you for equipping us with the tools we need to tackle difficult conversations both within and beyond the classroom. Thank you for pushing us to do better and never settling for just good enough. We can't promise that we will always remember the material you taught us, but we will always remember how you have made us feel, supported, loved, and empowered. Evangeline, thank you for being my second mom. You inspire me to push through fear and go after the things I love. Thank you for your unwavering support and wisdom. Thank you for taking me under your wing and ensuring me that I'm safe, healthy, and well. Thank you for always believing in me, but most importantly, thank you for teaching me to believe in myself. To my family who are sadly not able to be here in person for graduation weekend, I love you. Mama, Baba, I know you have sacrificed so much for me to come to America to receive my education. I know of all the sleepless nights you've had staying up on business calls just so I can have the opportunities I do today. I see all the little things you do for me, and I am so grateful. I would not be the person I am today without the both of you. Thank you for your unconditional love. To my little brother Max, I can't believe how far you've come. I am so lucky to be your big sister. Thank you for reminding me to be playful and for spreading sunshine wherever you go. I love you all. Class of 2021, in a day, we are going to be proud alumnus of Emma Willard. The people I mentioned earlier were some of the people that have left an everlasting impact on me. I ask you now to think about those who, in your lives, have made that difference for you. After this ceremony is over, I ask you to call them, tell them, or write to them about the impact they've had on you. I also ask you to think about the journey we have been on. Who have you made an impact on? I know you have all made an impact in our community. I hear it from the freshmen who look up to their proctors, to the athletes who talk about their captains, to the writers who write about your grace. You have also made an impact on me. Our time together has changed me to become more aware, confident, and compassionate. As we leave these gray walls tomorrow, I hope you always remember that your actions and words have power. I hope you always remember to be kind and to be grateful. I hope you always remember that we will forever have a home here and that you will always find family in me. I know letting go can be hard, and the thought of leaving this can sting, but I am confident that we are all ready. I could not be any prouder of our class for everything we have accomplished in this weird and isolating year. Never forget that strength. Class of 2021, we have the courage to take the next step together. I am forever grateful for the light you brought into our family. Now go and spread your shine to the rest of the world. I love you always. Thank you.
Natasha, thank you so much for that heartfelt and wise address. Beautifully done. Perhaps the best way to introduce our faculty speaker and chair of the history department, Dr. Katie Holt, is through a story. It may not surprise you to know that Dr. Holt is a lover of big books. During the pandemic spring of 2020, she, with a group of other faculty and students, found solace in spending several months reading Tolstoy's War and Peace as a group. This may sound challenging and interesting, a worthy endeavor for a mind in isolation, but reading Tolstoy's masterwork was not enough for Dr. Holt. She sought out a yet deeper challenge and chose to read the novel in Russian, her adopted second language. A true student of the humanities, Dr. Holt is curious and concerned with all aspects of human culture, from 19th century Russian literature to the ways we can understand and influence the ecological effects of human behavior. She has formally studied history, Russian and Slavic languages, and Russian literature, and informally, environmental humanities and English literature. She is the definition of a deep thinker and has a gift for inspiring enthusiasm for learning in her students. From her students at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland, to her students in the Bard Prison Initiative, to her students at Emma Willard School. As a teacher and department chair, she asks of her students and colleagues what she asks of herself. Try the hard thing, and then try the harder thing. Dig deep for understanding, and when you think you have found it, dig a little deeper still. Dr. Holt's love of complex problems may only be matched by her love for her family, her partner in all things Rafe, and her two boys, Holt and Max. Please join me in giving a welcome applause to an outstanding educator and colleague, Dr. Katie Holt.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much for that introduction. You know, I'm a crier also, so we'll see if we all get through today with dry eyes. I kind of doubt it, but okay. Well, thank you so much for that introduction, and thank you also for the honor of, the huge honor of being your faculty speaker. I think it would mean a tremendous amount to me in any year, but I feel especially grateful at this moment to get to stand here today with you all and participate actively in this moment of celebration. This is a very special day, not only because of what it means to you, dear class of 2021, at the beginning of your graduation weekend, but also because today marks the first time we adults have all gathered together physically since March 2020. I know a lot of us were here at Revels, but still, this is our first, real official gathering. And I think I speak for everyone who works at Emma Willard when I say that we have hungered for this kind of expression of our community's strength and love. And before I say anything else, I would like to echo others in taking a moment to express my immense gratitude to all those who helped ensure that everyone working and studying at this institution, as well as the institution itself, would survive the COVID-19 pandemic. By making difficult choices, implementing new protocols and technologies, and changing their behavior. I'm proud of us. I have in mind our administration, our nursing team, our housekeeping team, our dining services team, our residential faculty, our facilities team, our coaches and athletics directors, our counselors, our college counselors, the academic support team, our tech team, every parent and teacher and student, and really everyone affiliated with this place. We all deserve a pat on the back, if you ask me, for every time we fastened on our masks, backed away from a friend in order to protect them, followed a new cleaning protocol, logged onto a Zoom call, found a workaround for a tech glitch, or repeated ourselves so the owl could pick up our voice. I'm not sad to see the owls go, by the way, but I'm glad that you'll be taking one with you. But every time we attended a class from a different time zone or completed a paper while learning remotely and doing all the work yourselves, really any of these tasks that we performed took work, and we worked hard to keep this year safe and keep learning. Now, although globally we have a great distance to travel, the pandemic is, I hope, coming to an end in the United States. And it looks like you seniors will begin college with many more rich, face-to-face experiences than you had in the beginning of your senior year. And that makes me tremendously happy. I hope before we go back to normal, however, that we all might take some time to reflect upon the experience of living through immense uncertainty, because I think this is the challenge of our time. For when worries about COVID subside, and I hope they will, we will still be left facing a global climate crisis, racial inequality, political polarization, economic inequality and widespread economic precarity, in a sense that myths and disinformation can take root around us. And this combination is likely to continue to feel existentially destabilizing. I say all that not because I want to be a total downer on this glorious celebratory day, although history teachers have a reputation for sort of being downers, but anyway. But because I see an opportunity at this moment for us all to collectively ponder what we might take with us from this moment. I believe we have a few choices in the face of an uncertain future. One option is to frantically compete for resources, to try to accrue all the individual accolades and financial rewards we can in the hopes that we can create a safe future for ourselves by distinguishing ourselves from others. I know many of us feel this sometimes, that if we do enough, prove ourselves enough, we can exert control on the world and make ourselves invulnerable to suffering. That if we become successful enough, whatever that means to us, we will procure the armor needed. Another option is to seek protection through isolation, to cordon ourselves off, to build a bunker, proverbial or real, and hide in it from the world. Some of us may be the types to start doomsday prepping, to try to convert a former missile silo into a compound for our family and friends. But even if we're not that type, I know a number of us just find it easier when things are uncertain to retreat, perhaps by watching our chosen streaming service or scrolling through our personal devices alone. Many of us take comfort in the idea that this isolation will provide an escape from the anxiety that comes from not knowing what will be next. I don't think that either hyper-competitiveness or isolation can offer real protection from the kinds of systemic challenges we face, however. Rather, I think the best possible strategy for living in uncertain times is to join or build communities of people and show up for them. There's good reason to think that building and maintaining networks might help us more than hyper-competition or isolation. First, much of the psychological research on stress suggests that the difference between toxic stress and tolerable stress is the presence of people we can trust. The child development researcher, Dr. Ann Maston, for instance, has studied why some children thrive despite adverse circumstances, while others do not. And in the constellation of factors that she calls ordinary magic, she includes the presence of trusted people. She and other resilience researchers suggest networks can help us build confidence, that we will know what to do when something goes wrong, that we can get to the other side of challenging circumstances. And it's not just psychologists who see value in such networks or webs of independence, but also social thinkers from across the political spectrum. Many British and American conservative thinkers champion voluntary associations like family, church, town, and civic groups. These little platoons, to borrow a phrase from Edmund Burke and more recently Matt Feeney, provide a social identity, many conservatives believe, while also serving as a check against potential coercion by a central government and the conformity of society. Those at the other end of the political spectrum, meanwhile, argue that community-centered networks and mutual aid practices can extend care beyond what a centralized government could ever hope to offer. When disaster strikes, writers like Rebecca Solnit and Jenny Odell have maintained, local, flexible, and rhizomatic networks often get the job done better, or at least faster, than the institutional aid that follows. In a similar vein, community builders like Mia Birdsong have encouraged us to build our own bubbles of humanity and dignity that are supportive of all marginalized identities, For mainstream society, in her view, does not offer places where all people can be vulnerable and imperfect, where we can grieve and stumble, be held accountable, and love deeply. Among both those skeptical of government's overreach and those skeptical of government's underreach, in other words, we find many calls today for the construction of voluntary communities that can offer proper care, belonging, and space to be ourselves. But we don't need to look to academic research or social thought, as much as I love academic research and social thought, to find support for the idea that people showing up for one another is helpful. I bet all of us can name specific people whose support and attention helped them get through the last 14 months. Take a moment to think of who specifically got you through. Go ahead, close your eyes and picture them. I know who helped me. At a familial level, I can tell you that my husband and I would not have made it through the last year without the dog we adopted last summer. Thank you, Tasha. You might have seen her on campus. And the few dear friends we continue to see in person through the pandemic, along with their children. The joy our own kids found in the periodic play dates we allowed them to have with these other families. The catharsis and laughter we adults found during these periodic dinners and fireside chats. These made a world of difference, as did the reassurance we would help each other with childcare if we faced another shutdown. We realized it was just too hard to go alone. On a personal level, outside of my family unit, I can tell you that I also relied on all of you, even if you didn't know I was doing it. Every day I gained strength from the knowledge that you were all out there, facing the same grief and fear and logistical hurdles and risk calculation as I was, from different perspectives, and in many cases different time zones, with different priorities in mind. Knowing you all were counting on me, that I was obligated to you to try to connect across our differences, this helped me show up every day for classes, department meetings, curriculum change conversations, advisee appointments, shout out to my 7 amazing advisees who are about to graduate, grading sessions, even when I was desperately worried about what was next and was not sure I could meet another challenge. The sustenance I took from you all during the pandemic leads me to what I finally want to get across today. As we face uncertain times, I'm all for us creating voluntary associations, whatever ideology brings us to them, and doing the very hard work of providing care for those in our families, mutual aid networks, congregations, or pods. The work of care is no joke, especially the care for our elders, our children, the non-human beings around us, the infirm. And we absolutely need to prioritize providing care to those we love and commit to by choice. But I also think we must be careful not to wall ourselves off from those who seem unlike us in their beliefs. Because while pods can be wonderful for providing care and allowing us to be ourselves, as we all saw in the last year, they do not necessarily provide opportunities for the negotiation of difference. And that is often where we make the most meaning and find the deepest sense of purpose. Connecting with people who have different perspectives and priorities is not always easy. It takes patience and grace, the willingness to be held accountable and hold others accountable. In the novel Middlemarch, which I read with a number of you this spring, George Eliot portrays beautifully how people living in a small community often feel constrained by the ties that bind them to one another. The number of times a character thinks about a connection to someone else as a yoke or a fetter becomes almost comical. But ultimately, Eliot provides a model of how one might make meaning in a community of dissimilar individuals facing a world in flux. She suggests with her character of Dorothea that we ought not compete or retreat, but rather do our best to engage with others justly. The growing good of the world, Eliot concludes, is partly dependent on the negotiations and unhistoric acts we perform every day when we coexist with others. By way of closing, I want to tell you that in July 2018, after I'd been hired here, but before I came to work here, I happened to meet a student who was about to start at Emma Willard at a barbecue. She was the first Emma Willard student I'd ever met outside of my day-long interview, and her name was Emma Reed. If I remember correctly, after Emma and I figured out both of us were about to relocate to Troy, we each expressed some trepidation about joining this community, as well as excitement, but there was definitely trepidation. And I left the barbecue saying something to Emma like, well, I hope we both feel at home here, or there at the time. I hope we both feel at home there. And Emma, I don't know about you, but I'm so very grateful I made the move here. This place has given me so many ties that bind in all the best ways. My hope for us all, graduates and all adults gathered here, is that we can continue to cultivate the kind of ties we have here in the uncertain years ahead. Thank you.
Dr. Holt, thank you for such heartfelt, thoughtful, deeply relevant words we all needed to hear. Thank you. As the class of 2021 departs this baccalaureate service, let me share the lyrics of a Celtic song, The Soft Goodbye. They have been tailored just a little for this special occasion. When the light begins to fade and shadows fall across the sea, one bright star in the evening sky, our love's light leads you on your way. Yours are dreams that will not sleep, burning hopes that will not die. So you must go now with the wind and leave us waiting on the tide. It is time to fly, time to touch the sky. You are not alone, you must not cry. A song, a star burning bright, may those carry you through the darkest night. Rain comes over the gray hills, and on the air, a soft goodbye. Hear the song we sing to you when the time has come to fly. When you leave and take the wind and find the land that holds destiny, the brightest star in the evening sky will be your Mount Ida memory. This concludes our baccalaureate service. Thank you.
I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction. My faith is shaking, but I gotta keep trying. Gotta keep my head held high. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. It ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. The struggles I'm facing, the chances I'm taking, sometimes might knock me down, but no, I'm not breaking. I may not know it, but these are the moments that I'm gonna remember most. Yeah, just gotta keep going, and I gotta be strong. Just keep pushing on, 'cause there's always gonna be another
virtual celebration of the Class of 2021 Parents Fund and our brick dedication ceremony. My name is Tom Sternal, a member of the Board of Trustees at Emma Willard School and a member of the Leadership Committee of the Class of 2021 Parents Fund. My most important role, however, is as the proud father of Tessa. Tessa has had an incredibly positive experience at Emma Willard, and I'm so honored to be involved in this special project and for the opportunity to give back to a school that has meant so much to us. We are here to celebrate remarkable support from all Emma Willard families that participated in our Class of 2021 Parents Fund, a new tradition at Mount Ida that's designed to do several things. First, to recognize and celebrate the achievements of our graduates. Second, to provide financial support for the school and the campus environment. And third, serve as a model for students by reinforcing the importance of philanthropy. But before I announce the grand total of gifts raised from 2021 families and present a check on behalf of all of us to Jenny Rao, our head of school, I would like to show you the brilliance of our brick pathway. Today, we dedicate these bricks and this walkway as a permanent expression of love and recognition of our children and in appreciation of Emma Willard School and its impact on their lives. From the beginning, our project was focused on inclusion, wanting to find a way to ensure that there was a brick on this walkway for every graduating student. The Emma Willard community has embraced this, and we are so pleased to announce that thanks to exceptional families on the leadership committee of our Class of 2021 Parents Fund, we were able to place a brick for every student in the Class of 2021. Other members of our leadership committee were not able to be here today, but wish to share reflections of gratitude and involvement in this special project.
Hi, we're Tina and Vince Versace, and we are the parents of two Emma students, Caroline, class of 2019, and Rosie, who is part of this year's graduating class of 2021.
It's hard to believe that 6 years has gone by so quickly. Rosie, in a few short weeks, will be joining her classmates at graduation, and we're left here saying to ourselves, where's the time gone?
Emma Willard became a second home for our girls. We knew every day that they would be challenged and embraced, celebrated, and supported. We quickly succumbed to that 40-minute drive to and from Troy every day, knowing that there was no better use of our time and that our girls were thriving in an environment that encouraged their independence and their commitment to their school community. They met friends and built strong friendships, and they sought out mentors who really inspired them.
We really missed that one-on-one time with the girls now that they can drive themselves.
We were inspired to support the Class of 2021 Parents Funds by the legacy of Emma girls that preceded our girls and went on to become active and thoughtful members of their communities. We wanted our girls to be part of this legacy.
We knew right away that Emma Willard was so much more than a top-notch educational institution. It helped build resilience and character in both of them that serves them all so well.
The teachers and administrators that we met along the way became partners in raising two strong and independent young women and helped us prepare them for college and beyond. We are truly grateful for our time at Emma Willard and are really thankful to be part of this community.
Congratulations to all the graduates of the Class of 2021.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. Go Jesters!
Emma Willard has had a tremendously positive experience on our family and certainly on our daughter. And I believe the metaphor of the bricks is absolutely spot on. She came with her own natural talents and abilities. Her academics, athletics, and other experiences all helped to shape and strengthen her. Together, all these things really prepared her to be a part of something bigger than herself. Thank you all.
It is my honor today to present this gift on behalf of the Class of 2021 Parent Fund. These gifts have been designated to the Emma Fund to help the school with immediate needs due to the pandemic, including upgrades in technology and classrooms, additional financial aid, and campus-wide materials and equipment to keep the entire community safe and well. We are pleased to present this gift to the school in appreciation for all that Jenny Rao, as well as the faculty and staff, have done for us, our students, and for the future of Emma Willard. Thank you to the mayors and the Versaces and to all parents and families for being an important part of the success of this project.
Tom, thanks to you and to our exceptional committee of parents who led this project with grace and creativity through a year like no other. And a special thank you to all of our class of 2021 families for your generosity. These bricks symbolize the pathway your graduates have paved for themselves here at Mount Ida. They are an enduring reminder of the class of 2021, and when your daughters return to campus as alumni in 5, 10, or even 50 years, I hope they will recall their experiences at Emma Willard and reaffirm their support and commitment to their alma mater. These bricks are placed in a celebration of our remarkable class of 2021, with permanent appreciation for support from each of you. On behalf of all of us here at Emma Willard, thank you. We are in the midst of a very special commencement weekend for our class of 2021. And to many of you who will be with us on Mount Ida tomorrow, I welcome you to Kellis Garden to come find your daughter's engraved brick. For those who are many miles away, no matter where you are, and no matter if you're able to return, you'll be welcomed with open arms and celebrated forever as members of our Emma Willard family. Congratulations to all of our families and especially to our graduates in the class of 2021. Thank you.